And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring our fighters out onto the stage. We'll begin with the challenger, standing at 6 feet 7 inches tall with a tremendous record of 42 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, with 41 big wins coming by way of knockout. The 2008 U.S. Olympic bronze medalist, he is ranked the WBC #1 heavyweight in the world from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Please welcome the former WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the bronze bomber, Deontay Wilder. And now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent is the defending champion, standing at 6 feet 9 inches with a record of 30 wins, no losses, 1 draw, with 21 wins coming by way of knockout. From Manchester, England, here is the undefeated WBC and lineal heavyweight champion of the world, known as the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury.
Jumper's here. Yeah. Don't mind if I do. Sit down right here.
It's a good thing I checked my wardrobe. I was going to wear the same thing here today, but Tyson always wins. Saturday, July 24th is the date. Highly anticipated 3rd chapter for the heavyweight rivalry between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Fury looking to defend his WBC title against the former world champion and rival Wilder. The event will be available on pay-per-view from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, and it's all brought to you by Top Rank Incorporated, along with Bomb Squad Promotions, TGB Promotions, and Frank Warren's Queensberry Promotions in a Premier Boxing Champions presentation. Want to let you know that tickets for the live event are available on T-MobileArena.com and AXS.com. Now let's meet some of the teams that are joining our fighters here on the stage. First of all, we have the trainer. We'll go to the challenger side, longtime friend, former heavyweight great, and the new trainer for Deontay Wilder, Malik Scott. We'll have chances for Q&A for Malik Scott a little bit later on. And on the other side of the podium, we have the trainer for Tyson Fury, of course, a longtime and respected trainer from the Kronk Gym in Detroit, Sugar Hill Stewart, along with the Hall of Fame promoter, the one and only Bob Arum. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from our fighters. Without further ado, first of all, the challenger, former longtime heavyweight champion, known as the Bronze Bomber. He re-energized the heavyweight division when he captured the WBC title in January of 2015. He made 10 successful defenses of his title, won 9 of them by knockout. Known for his electrifying power, his knockout ratio is 93%, still standing as the highest for any heavyweight champion, current or past. Seeking to avenge his only loss, we invite him to the microphone at this time, the challenger, the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder. Deontay, it's all you.
I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'd like to thank my amazing team, and I'd like to thank my strong legal team as well. Look, enough said. Time to cut off his head. And come July the 24th, there will be bloodshed. Get your tickets now. I'll see you soon.
Once again, we'll have opportunity for Q&A for both of our fighters following their opening comments. Now I introduce to you, my pleasure to introduce the defending world champion. He has held the lineal crown since dethroning Vladimir Klitschko in November of 2015. He has inspired millions across the globe with his comebacks, both inside the ring and outside the ring as well. After their dramatic first fight ended in a draw, Fury knocked out Wilder the rematch to capture the WBC heavyweight title. Once again, here's the undefeated WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury.
Good afternoon, everybody. Morning. I don't know what time it is. Afternoon. Firstly, I'd like to say congratulations to Deontay Wilder for finding his Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ. Before the last fight, he was comparing gods, and we know my God won, so congratulations. And after all this bloodshed stuff, not so certain. Heard it all before, to be fair. Said all this last time. Decapitation and bloodshed and all that. And we all know what went down there, so, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people got a lot of questions and they want to know certain facts, including myself. So I'll leave the questions open to the floor. Keep it short and simple from me. Thank you very much.
And reminding you, our date, of course, is Saturday, July the 21st, T-Mobile Arena. Tickets are available at tmobilearena.com for the live event, along with AXS.com. And the event is promoted by Top Rank Incorporated, Bomb Squad Promotions, TGB Promotions, and Frank Warren's Queensberry Promotions in a Premier Boxing Champions presentation. And now we turn to our Q&A session. My pleasure to hand over the microphone duties to trailblazing commentator, hostess, and reporter for Top Rank Boxing and ESPN, Christina Puncher. Christina?
Go on, Christina.
No big deal. I wore my extra high heels for you guys. All right, so hello everyone. Before we get to sending both fighters to the media to answer some questions, I'm gonna lead a little Q&A up here, and then they'll face off for some photos, and then come down to you guys to answer some more questions. So we'll start on this side here. A new face at the end of the podium to Deontay Wilder's corner, but not to Deontay Wilder and Malik Scott. And Malik, I'd like to start with you, if I could, to talk a little bit about the chemistry that you've built with Deontay. Not many people know how long you guys have actually been friends, and although not in his corner, on his side and on his team. So if you could talk a little bit about the chemistry that you and Deontay had even before he made that phone call to you at 3 in the morning to kind of made you his trainer.
We always had a chemistry as brotherhood, but for this fight, one thing I can say is before Deontay and I even talked about me moving forward as far as his head trainer, I wanted to make sure that we had the same chemistry as far as fighter and trainer. I wanted that to be better than brotherhood, you know what I mean? And ever since I've started working with him as far as training him and taking that position, our chemistry as fighter and trainer by far passes our chemistry as our brotherhood. So, you know, I'm impressed with him and how he's adapted and how receptive he is and everything. So, yeah.
Deontay, last time we were up here, it was Tyson who had a new trainer sitting next to him, and you spoke about him making changes to his team, changing trainers and all that. You decided to make a change. Why was Malik the right person for the job to get it done this third time? Deontay?
You said, why was I the right one to get it done for the job?
Yes.
I believe with a fighter like Deontay, right, he's naturally raw power. Mm-hmm. I believe someone like myself that is extremely technically sound from my own background of boxing, it just matched well. But the thing with us is the chemistry. I believe there's great fighters in the world, right, that have great teachers. But then I believe there's great fighters in the world that have good chemistry with a good or okay teacher, and that makes them, and it makes it work for them. So our chemistry is firing on all cylinders on both sides.
So what kind of imprint do you see yourself making in this fight?
Deontay has made the imprint. He's made the mental adjustments. All I needed was a receptive athlete. I'm not even talking about his ability and everything I've been seeing him do over the last 10 years. He's already made the mental adjustments to do everything I need him to do when we're in that ring. He's already made the mental adjustments to turn his household into his training facility. Mm-hmm. Eat, sleep, and shit boxing. And that's all I ask, and that's what I'm impressed with the most.
So how would you envision this third fight? I'm sure you guys have talked about it, and obviously you're not going to give away your game plan, but how do you see this third fight going, as both fighters have been very adamant about the end goal?
I only see it one way. I believe that if you let Fury just do what he want to do, then he's going to do more than what you allow him to do. I think I have no doubt in my mind Deontay is going to become two-time heavyweight champion of the world, and I believe it's going to be by knockout.
And I'll send it over here to the other side now, and in Sugar Hill. Actually, before we get to Sugar Hill, we have Bob Arum on the stage also joining us. Bob, you do have the mic right in front of you. You've been a part of many great, trilogies and things like that. Where do you kind of see this fight, the promotion for this fight, and how excited are you that these two are back at it, once again? Thank you. Your thoughts on the third fight?
What was the question? Go on, Bob.
I probably don't even need to ask you a question. You know everything that you want to say at this point, Bob. But you've been a part of some significant trilogies in boxing history. Obviously, they have one more fight to make this trilogy complete. But your thoughts on the third one, as we are about a month and a half away.
All right. Well, let's be honest about it. The first fight was a tremendous fight. Tyson showed what a great boxer he was. He got knocked down twice, and they called it a draw. The second fight was, as we all witnessed, a very one-sided fight. But when heavyweights participate in a one-sided fight, it's still great because they love to see, the fans love to see the big guys duking it out. And now the third fight, based on the first two, I really predict will be bigger than the first two fights, based on the orders that we're getting for tickets. They far exceed what we did in the last fight, and I really believe that the pay-per-view, now that we all had the opportunity to watch that second fight, the pay-per-view is going to be bigger this time than it was last time, and we're happy that every restaurant is opening up around the country because the closed circuit action in the United States, they'll be shown in all the restaurants and bars, will be tremendous. There's a pent-up demand that the fans have, so I'm looking forward to a great fight, to a great event, and I think it's going to set all kinds of records for a heavyweight championship fight.
Thank you, Bob. And over to Sugar Hill now. And Sugar Hill, you've had a lot more time this time with Tyson than you did for the last fight spent with him, not only in the gym, but in Miami, spending a lot of time together. How has that improved your chemistry leading into now this third fight, the amount of time you've been able to have together?
The amount of time that we've had together since rejoining together, it hasn't done anything different for us. It's always been there. It's nothing new. And the only one thing that I really have to say is, over that time of training and working with Tyson Fury, he now has power to knock a man out with one punch. And that's something that I'm happy that he has now, along with his other boxing skills and everything else that he knows. His boxing IQ is one-punch knockout power.
Tyson told everybody before the last fight exactly what he was going to do, whether the media and the fans believed it or not, and he stayed true to his word. Looking back on the fight, it was a masterful performance. What do you think that he can or needs to do differently, if anything?
Land that punch.
All right, Tyson, you and your sparring partners obviously getting ready for this fight for quite some time. How did you go from that switch, it being, and everyone thinking it was going to be Anthony Joshua one day, to 2 days later, here we are with Deontay Wilder?
Yeah, it was a crazy roller coaster of fights, what was going to happen and what was not going to happen. But I always said you're never fighting somebody until you're in the ring opposite them. So it wasn't really hard for me. I never started training. I wasn't in training camp when all these negotiations were going on. So it was what it was. 1 minute I'm fighting one guy, next minute I'm fighting another guy. It's what I do. It's what I get paid to do. I get paid to beat up on people. Not a bad job, really. Yes. So, yeah, it's going to be Deontay Wilder. So, yeah, it's his turn again. Let him get another good hiding. And we'll see if he wants a fourth rematch after this one. Maybe a 7th, 10th, 72. Who knows? It might go on forever.
I think a lot of people think we could be headed in that direction depending on how this fight goes. But look, we go through COVID. all this time outside of the ring, outside of fighting, long layoff, nothing that you haven't done before, but how do you continue to keep your mental health strong through everything that you've been going through in this point to get you ready for this third fight?
Yeah, I just keep training, stay motivated. Every day I wake up's a blessing. I'm happy to be alive, you know. I'm happy to be living, being here right now, and I look forward to today. That's how I manage my problems. I don't look forward to the future. I'm not looking at the past. I enjoy today, the now, living in the moment type of person. I look forward to the challenge. I hope he's going to bring something different to what he did last time. Well, he needs to. Let's face facts. And let's hope he can give me a challenge. I know he's took on Malik, very experienced guy in boxing. He's had a lot of professional fights himself. And let's hope he can bring the best out of Deontay Wilder, hopefully.
Malik, with Tyson saying he's got to do something differently to get a different outcome, what is that you think that he needs to do differently when you look down and break down film?
Well, when I look and break down film, I
know you study, you're a student of the game as well. So.
I don't feel as though this is not a thing of like so many different things Deontay have to do, because in my opinion, he wasn't able to do anything in the last fight. So it's about the mental adjustments he's made to the craft. And I think that's going to pay big dividends for him when you're in with a guy like Tyson Fury. You know what I'm trying to say? A lot of people have been seeing me and Deontay work, and they say, oh, they never seen him do this. They never seen him do that. Mm-hmm. These people haven't been seeing him in the gym. So we'll say Bermain Stavern second fight. That whole camp before Bermain Stavern the second fight, Deontay was boxing on his toes, doing all type of stuff. Before that, when we was getting ready for years back, I think it was Calvin Price. He was boxing on his toes. See, these are all things I've always seen and took notes and said to myself, if I ever get the opportunity to work with him, I'm just going to make the most things he do subconsciously, I'm going to make him drill those things. And that's what we do now. We repetitiously drill good things that most people haven't seen him doing in big fights.
It's hard to take a fighter off his first professional loss, and then you have to sit there going through a lockdown and through COVID, and then we hear all these allegations and things like that coming out. So just things that you can do to kind of just even keep your fighter in line and focus at the task in hand. What was that kind of those last months like doing that?
It wasn't really hard because like I've been telling the reporters, if we got out the ring with Fury in the second fight at 12:45, we was disappointed and we had a long talk and everything, but literally around 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., Deontay was already putting his plan into play on what he wanted done, how he wanted to, rededicate himself, how he wanted to do everything correct to get the title back. And he's done that, and I'm expecting him to win and win in grand fashion.
Why do you think that Deontay doesn't want to answer any questions up here today?
Well, number one, he's very stubborn. You know what I mean? Even though he's rededicated his life and everything to the craft, he's very stubborn. But like most legends or like most gifted people, they have their things with them. Like even Fury, he has his things with him. A lot of people think he's crazy. Most people that are like that, Marvin Gaye is one of my favorite artists of all time, musician-wise. He had his thing with him. Michael Jackson, these people have their thing with him. But what I do, as long as Deontay give me what I want in the gym, long as he give me what I'm asking for when he's sparring, I don't care about the stubbornness. We gonna get this work done because we got a big task ahead, and it's my job and his job to make sure it get done.
So perhaps even portraying a different demeanor considering what he came here to do. I mean, I asked him about answering questions, and he said, the talking is done. It's just time to do business and to put in work. So I'm going to send it over to Tyson. Now, what do you make of the fact that Deontay doesn't want to answer any questions?
It shows how weak of a mental person he is, and how much of the beating from the last fight has took an emotional, physical effect on his life. I was worried about Deontay Wilder for quite a while after the defeat that I gave him, and obviously he's doing his little thing with his earphones on and he doesn't want to answer any questions. That's up to him, but I'm here to promote a fight and talk to the press, what I always do. So if Deontay Wilder doesn't want to commit to this press conference, let's me take Deontay Wilder's part. So I'll play double character if you want. I'm quite good at doing these role-playing stuff. So I'll be Deontay Wilder and I'll be Tyson Fury, and we'll play a little game. So here's me taken as Tyson Fury. So he's employed Malik Scott to help him. And as Malik said, Wilder is a stubborn person, so he's got his own mentality and he wants to do things his own way. So to listen to other people It's not what Deontay Wilder does. So no matter how much that Malik teaches Deontay's going to do what Deontay's going to do.
That's wrong. That's wrong, Tyson.
Deontay's going to do what he's going to do.
He's been doing everything I've asked him and told him to do.
Yeah, but like Mike Tyson said, everyone's got a game plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah, but you're talking about as far as training. He's doing everything.
Yeah, he can
plus
do that,
more.
but in the real fight I'm talking about, he's going to do what he's going to do. He's going to revert straight back to type, 100%. As soon as he hits him with the first right hand, he's going to see red and he's going to I'm going to take his head off with
Sugar
this big
Hill
right.
just said you're a one-punch knockout artist now, but there's no history of you knocking someone out with one punch. So that means when a fight gets started, or you want to go back
he's going to go straight back to revert, 100%. You heard it here first. And another thing is, you can't expect him to do something that you couldn't do.
Like what? Knock you out?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, but me and you never fought, Tyson. You bust my eardrum when we sparred.
We did spar, didn't we? And
Yeah,
we know what happened there.
You're a 260-pound man that can fight. You bust my eardrum the first time we sparred. That's not something to brag about. You can fight. That's what you do.
I know, but like you can't teach him to be some great fighter when you wasn't.
Tyson, who's teaching him to be a great fighter? I'm adding on to everything that he do.
Well, we were seeing the fight.
No, real quick.
The way I see it is, right, he's got rid of Mark Breland because Mark Breland's a cheater, whatever he said. And he's employed you. I think you've been working with him for a long time. I'm not here to disrespect you or anything because you're his trainer. You're not boxing. I'm not having a go at you. I'm just saying what I think at the moment. Like, everyone has this game plan of they're going to do something against me until they get in there. As we all know, because we've seen it so many times.
Was Sugar Hill a great fighter that teaches you very well?
No, he wasn't.
But
This is what I'm saying.
So why would you say, how am I going to teach him and I wasn't a great fighter?
I don't believe that. You can teach him in the gym as much as you want.
Right.
But as soon as he gets in the ring, Deontay Wilder's got 43
But that's
knockouts.
what we got the date
he's
for.
going to do.
That's what we're going to see July 24th.
Well, we will see. But I'm going to state it here first. I'm going to stamp my claim that he's going to be the same old Deontay Wilder we've always seen.
You're supposed to see that.
And that's that. So, yeah, just because you both got your eardrums burst in sparring and fights, it is what it is. But I can't see him doing anything different. Maybe I'm wrong, but who knows? It doesn't matter.
But see, listen to what I'm saying real quick. Say if you couldn't fight and you did that to me.
Yeah.
I would feel like shit. I'm boxing Tyson Fury. The first day I boxed him, he bust my eardrum. Then I come back to box him again the next day. And then the next day it happened and I couldn't hear and I couldn't continue to box. That's nothing brag. This shit happens in boxing.
Of course.
Of course. But you're bringing that up as if
No, you brought it up. You said I popped your eardrum. I didn't mention it.
No, but you just said, well, if he's getting bust up in sparring or if he's getting bust up in a fight, that's on them. Yeah, but you bust my ear. It's okay, though, Tyson. That's what happens in boxing.
I didn't mention the ear
busting.
busting.
You just did at the end. You just did at the end.
You started with the ear busting. I didn't mention it.
Okay.
But as we're on the topic of ear busting, don't we find it funny that I busted both of these guys' eardrums, trainer and fighter? Crazy. Statistics.
Tyson Sugar Hill.
I'm going to be aiming for Deontay Wilder's ears in the next fight. Burst.
Tyson, you talked about, and Sugar Hill has talked about developing that one-punch knockout power. You said exactly how the last fight was going to go. I went back and watched all the press conferences, and it went exactly how you said. So is it going to be, in your anticipation, a one-punch knockout, or how do you see this third fight
I'll tell you how I
playing
see
out?
it. And I gave my game plan away the first time because he wasn't good enough to do anything about it. And I'll do the same thing this time because he's not good enough to do anything about it. Deontay Wilder's a one-trick pony. He's got one-punch power. We all know that. Great. But what I'm going to do to Deontay Wilder this time is I'm going to run him over as if I'm an 18-wheeler and he's a human being. And I guarantee you he does not go past where he did before. Because before I only had 5 or 6 weeks of practicing what I was going to do to him. This time I've had 18 months of practicing what I'm going to do to him. So I anticipate it's going to be like an 18-wheeler running over somebody. And that's what you're going to see. I'm building my weight up. I'm trying to get up to 300 pounds for this fight. Because I'm looking for a big knockout straight away. I don't believe he's mentally, physically, or emotionally involved in his fight. I think he's doing it for the wrong reasons. And when people do things for the wrong reasons, they always wind up getting hurt. So we'll see on fight night if I'm a man to my word and if I can run him over quicker than round 7. And I think I do, for sure.
Malik, I'm sure you guys were always confident because Deontay's plan was always to get this third fight no matter what was going to happen. So if I can just ask you one more time to respond to how Tyson Fury believes that this fight is going to go down based on what you guys have worked on, I'd imagine you say no way.
You asked me what do I think of Tyson's prediction?
Yes.
I think it's just cliche. A fighter is supposed to think he's going to, especially he had a good night the last time. He had his best night on Deontay Wilder's worst night. The stars just lined up for him. That's not going to be the same in the trilogy.
All right. He's not got any final comments that you'd like to make?
Do you want to ask Deontay Wilder a question?
I did try, but Deontay is going
I'll
to.
answer it for him. It's fine.
That's okay. That's okay, you guys. Anything else, Malik, that you would like to say? No? Deontay, you're good? He's good? Anybody else? Any final comments here, since this is the one and only press conference that we're going to have here, and then we get ready to take some photos here, and then you'll have to answer from the media. Anything else? Bob, anything else you'd like to say, Bob? Go, yeah.
Just, it's going to be a great fight, and you can see Deontay Wilder is saving his energy by not saying anything. Good, maybe that'll help him in the fight. I doubt it. We'll see what we'll see on July 24th.
Any final words, Tyson? Champ, I'll give you the final word.
Thank you, everybody, for turning out for this one-sided press conference. Hopefully the media have some good questions and we can get some answers and stuff.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for coming.